Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today, since I get asked quite a lot about video games, I figured I would talk about some of the video games that I love. So I'm not actually that big a gamer. People seem to think that I am. I wonder why. But I'm actually really not. Especially in the past 2 decades. I really don't play that many video games. But yeah, here are some of the ones that I have played and loved. Uh, First off, the Mass Effect trilogy. I've talked about that plenty. How that's probably my favorite games. Um, I just love them. Funnily enough, I only picked it up because I really liked Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, both the first and second games. So I like both of the Knights of the Old Republic games, and Mass Effect was made by the same company who made, or the same developers who did the first Knights of the Old Republic. So I figured, sure, give it a look, and I loved it. Fell in love with it pretty quickly. I got kind of obsessed with it. I know more about about that universe than I should. But yeah, it's just really fun trilogy of games. Not perfect. They do have their problems, but uh, but it's just such a cool, rich universe and great lore and great characters, fun gameplay for the most part. So yeah, I really like those games. Obviously, Mario. Uh, I was just like a little toddler when the first Mario game came out. When Super Mario Brothers came out. But I do remember playing that one as a kid, and of course, Mario 3, um, which is maybe the most perfect game ever made. And Super Mario World, loved Super Mario World, of course. Mario 64, I never ended up actually finishing. I don't think I actually. Did I have the actual. I don't know if I actually had the game itself, the cartridge itself. I think I might have rented it. Because I think when I got my Nintendo 64, I think it came with Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which was the first Zelda game that I played, and love that one. It's a phenomenal game. One of my all-time favorites. Did also play Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild. Played a little bit of Majora's Mask, but not a whole lot. I had only rented it, and I didn't get too far over that week or weekend, or however long I'd rented it for. But yeah, Ocarina of Time, definitely one of my favorites. And then Twilight Princess was great, and Breath of the Wild is great, and I am looking forward to Breath of the Wild too. What else? Going back to the Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong. Uh, Loved Donkey Kong Country, I should say. Donkey Kong Country. Had that one on the Super Nintendo, of course. Great game. Uh, Super Mario Brothers 2. I think I only played that one on. First played that one on a Game Boy when I was at my first job. So it would have been early 20s when I played it. And it was really fun. I liked that one. Uh, Earthbound, of course, one of the classic RPGs. So much fun. Still a great game to play. It's You can go back play it now, and it's still just as fun as it was back then. It's just so great. It's got so much humor, and the gameplay is genuinely fun. It's got some fun little uh, twists to the gameplay that make it a lot better. Chrono Trigger, of course, again, one of the greatest games ever, especially one of the greatest JRPGs ever. It's an incredible development team that came together for it. Some of the best in the industry at the time came together to make that one and made an absolute classic with memorable characters, enchanting music, um, fun gameplay, great story, compelling story. So yeah, Chrono Trigger, absolutely going to be one of my favorites. I remember Rampage for the original Nintendo. Uh, and what was that? Was it Slapshot for the original Nintendo? It was a hockey game, but it was like 3 on 3 rather than 6 on 6. So you'd have tall, skinny guy, short, fat guy, and the goalie, and you'd get sort of like super moves. So you could do slap shots that would knock the goalie through the net, or the goalie would turn into an actual brick wall to stop shots. People would throw uh, octopi on the rink as a reference to a real event. I forget which what team that happened to, but yeah, that was a real thing. People threw an octopus onto the rink, which is a weird thing to happen. Yeah, so they included that in this game. I think it was Slapshot, but it might have been something else. Uh, I also remember Bad News Baseball. It was a baseball game. I can't actually even find it whenever I've looked for it online, uh, but I know it existed. There's yeah, this also comedically oriented baseball game. Uh, if you hit a home run, you could knock it like right out of the planet. Um, the umpires were bunny rabbits for some reason. I think Japan, because Japan. Um, yeah, I think it's a game that was imported from Japan, so it was very weird. Uh, Used fake baseball teams and fake names, some of which were hilarious. I think I've seen it referenced other places under a different name, but I'm positive that it was Bad News Baseball was what it was called when I played it. So yeah, these were sort of that Slapshot and Bad News Baseball. To a certain extent, they can almost be considered predecessors of NBA Jam, um, which again was a really fun game. I did play Street Fighter 2 Turbo, or Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, um, whatever it was. Played a little bit of Mortal Kombat, not a whole lot. GoldenEye, of course. I had GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, two games by Rare. Those were both, you know, pretty revolutionary first-person shooters. GoldenEye was a revolutionary game, a revolutionary first-person shooter. Perfect Dark just sort of borrowed from that game. They didn't really seem to put much effort into making it, into improving it at all, aside a little bit from graphically. Yeah, I liked Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, of course. What else? What else? I think there was a game, The First Mage, Eden Chronicles, or something like that, for the Nintendo 64. It's not that it was necessarily a great game, but I did actually really enjoy it. It was a game that I really did love playing. What else? Played a little bit of Sonic, not a whole lot. Never played much in the way of Mario Kart or anything like that. I do remember Diddy Kong's Racing, which was a thing. I actually enjoyed that one. Let's see. Oh, Mario RPG. Gotta give love to Mario RPG. Uh, the Dynasty Warriors games. I always liked the Dynasty Warriors games. They were, each game was pretty much the same as the others, but they were just fun to play. Just, smashing through hordes of enemies effortlessly. They were fun. And Romance of the Three Kingdoms, I liked those games. Um, they always got to a point where I got sort of bored of them. Like each time I'd play, I'd get to a point where I'd get bored of it. Once you get sort of far enough in, um, it just gets tedious a little bit. SimCity, same thing. Loved it, but at some point it just gets kind of boring. I always used the infinite money cheat for that one because I'm cheap. It was easy to get. It was an easy cheat to do. I don't actually remember it now, but that was a long time ago, so of course I don't remember it. What else? What else? What else? What else? Trying to think of some other games that I've played. Um, Never really been too big on open world games. Um, I get a little bit of choice paralysis, I think. Like I remember I tried to play, I think it was Oblivion that I tried to play, I think it was. Um, I only played it for like half an hour, maybe an hour. I just couldn't get into it. And Fable, I tried to play, and again, just wasn't for me. I do prefer games that are more linear with, fair number of side quests and things like that. But on the whole, I prefer the more linear style. Let's see. I mentioned Knights of the Old Republic. I also really loved Star Wars Shadows of the Empire for the Nintendo 64. That was a great game. Yeah, a lot of it was just trying to copy stuff from the movies, but it was really fun to play. Hmm. Trying to think of some other games that I have loved, or even other games I've played, really. Never got around to playing any of the Dragon Age games. I know they're by the same, I know they're BioWare, so I'm sure I'd enjoy them. I've just never gotten around to playing them. And at this point, I'm kind of doubtful that I ever will. There's some visual novels that I've played that I've enjoyed. Monster Prom. I'm not sure if Monster Prom really quite count. Or yeah, that'd be a dating sim, but Monster Prom is just really fun. So that's a great one. There was, I believe it's called Cupid, um, but it's a visual novel, really dark and creepy, really unsettling. Uh, I think I played a couple other visual novels, but I can't remember the names of them now. not really thinking of many other games that are memorable to me. I know I played other games. Yeah. Duck Hunt. Everyone of a certain age remembers that one. And that incredibly loud Nintendo gun. Thing was so loud. Uh, I did play Two Rock Dinosaur Hunter. Meh. Not my type of game. I'm not really into first person shooters, so any of those that I've played I haven't really enjoyed. Not keen on fighting games, so any of those that I've played I haven't really been too into. I think I liked Clay Fighter 63 and a third. That one was pretty fun with the. Again, it was funny. It was a funny game. Oh, Final Fantasies. I played like the first disc of Final Fantasy VIII. And I think that was about as far as I got. Um, I've watched a Let's Play of the entire game since then. Honestly, feeling like I didn't miss much by not playing the full game myself. Final Fantasy 2, of course. Uh, or 4. 4, I guess it would be. Be Final Fantasy 4. That one was great. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy 4 the After Years. Not a whole lot of it. I got kind of bored of it. But first Final Fantasy 4, yeah, the regular Final Fantasy 4, which I played on the not the Switch, the 3DS. I played that one on the 3DS, and I really enjoyed that one. I really liked Final Fantasy 4. I think I might have played 3. I'm not really remembering now if I played 3 or not. I haven't played many Final Fantasy games. I should play more of them. Got sort of an idle fantasy of like playing through the entire main Final Fantasy series. So like each of the main games, not counting spin-offs or anything like that, sequels, whatever. Doubt I'll ever actually do that, but it's, you know, it's a bit of a fantasy of mine. And are there any other games? The Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, I played those. The X-Men Legends games, played those. Um, I enjoyed all those. They were fun. And honestly, I don't think there's really any other games that were really memorable enough for me to think about, to remember playing. I know I did play others. It's just I guess I just didn't really care that much about them. They didn't really stick with me. But and obviously, I mean, I've played very, very, very few games that have come out in the past like 15 years. Most of the games that I played would have been original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and a few on the PS2. Um, After that, it's really just a bare handful of games. So, yeah, anything from the past 15 years, odds are good that I've never played it, especially if it's fighting game, first person shooter, tactical shooter. open world RPG. Never played any MMOs. Never been interested in MMORPGs. But yeah, I guess that's enough. So yeah, those are the games that I remember playing and that I enjoyed. So that's it for today. Um, have a nice night.